I had like 5 beers and 2 shots at after work drinks. So that was a while ago though. So I'm starting to calm down. But when I got home, I was blackout drunk. I don't even remember getting home, dude.
Didn't you watch Predator 2 tonight?
I watched like 35 minutes of Predator 2 before my eyes were open. That's
okay.
right. That's right.
That's okay. We'll talk about it later, but nothing actually happens in the first 35 minutes.
Yeah, Predator 2 is for fucking jamokes, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'm into it.
I'm afraid.
I don't know why it's not loud. I've tried everything.
Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start. I don't feel so good.
You can practically see it from here. What?
Pod.
You can practically see it from here. Spider-Man not feeling so good.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Happy birthday,
It was really
Polly.
hard to get a clip of Mr. Stark because the only thing that was available at the time of the construction of that was like a shitty cam that was on YouTube.
Oh, that's very bad.
That's where I pulled it from, was off YouTube.
You pulled that just off YouTube. Did somebody just
They uploaded that scene to YouTube.
just Spider-Man saying Mr. Stark? I don't feel so
Mr.
good.
Stark, I don't feel so. Yeah, it was like a little bit longer. There was like a clip of all of them evaporating.
Oh, okay, that sounds like copyright infringement. But
Oh,
hey.
it was, but it was a shitty cam, and that's what made it into the theme song, and that's what we all care about.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday, Polly.
Happy birthday, Polly.
Happy birthday, Polly. Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. Of course, I am your host, Charlie J. Charlie, with a special guest appearance made by Buck Hollywood LeDuc.
Hey.
Co-starring, of course, Podcast Bot 5000. Podcast Bot 5000. Hey, man. Hey, man, how's your week? You good? Dude, you okay?
Hello, Chadley.
Hey,
It's me,
Podca-
Podcast Bot 5000.
Hey, Podcast Bot 5000. How you been? I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
Oh, just been jamming.
Jamming, like with a skateboard or like a.
Yeah, I started a band.
Oh, you started a band. Okay, what instrument do you play?
What do you think I play, Chadley? I'm the lead singer.
Oh, you're the lead singer. Yeah, that actually that checks out. I've heard Podcast Bot 8000 sing also. He's pretty good.
No.
Is he in the band?
He is not in the band.
Are you guys friends or enemies or dating? Like, I don't really know what's going on.
He's
with
Podcast Bot 8000. That's just how it is.
Podcast Bot 5000. What are we talking about on the Movie Epidemic podcast today?
Well, today on the podcast, Chadley, you guys are going to be watching 5 movies because, of course, you didn't go to anything at the film festival, so you had to go. You had to put Cold War on.
Yeah, I had to tack it on because I had to see it. But what else?
Chadley, we're confused here.
Yep.
At Movie Epidemic Podcast. I'm Podcast Bot. I schedule everything. I get you guys tickets for everything. You had tickets to the film festival, and you chose not to go.
I'm a busy man, all right? I was
busy,
I was
Chadley.
amidst a messy divorce. I was amidst a messy divorce. and I was-
Chadley, banging broads off Tinder for 6 months isn't busy.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, you might be right.
You guys are also going to be watching Predator 2 for some reason. You're also going to be watching Boy Erased for some reason. And then you're going to be watching the 2 good picks that were picked by Buck. And those are going to be The Sisters Brothers and Blindspotting.
And Blindspotting, yes, absolutely. So this is gonna be a really, really fun episode.
Look at my band on Bandcamp.
No, get the fuck out of here, Podcast Bot.
God, he was real riled up today. I don't know,
yeah,
what's
dude.
going on with him.
For anybody who was watching on the video, he actually had a T-shirt of his band.
Yeah. So if you want to go see that, you're gonna have to go subscribe on YouTube. If
He
you just,
doesn't wear shirts, you guys. He doesn't wear shirts usually.
just type in punchnerds.com. It'll bring you to the YouTube page.
Yeah, sometimes he takes like Hawaiian T-shirts out of your closet, but that's neither here nor there. What do you want to talk?
I'm missing all of my Hawaiian T-shirts. They're all gone.
Yeah, expensive. What do you want to talk about first, my friend?
I don't know. Let's do Boy Erased.
Boy Erased. All right, yeah, that's the one I was gonna say we should do first. Also, So here's the thing about Boy Erased is that you and I had sort of talked about this movie a couple of days ago after you had seen it, but before I had seen it, and you said to me that it's as offensive as Green Book.
Yeah.
It's not, but I get
Yeah,
it.
it is.
It's okay. Look, but here's the thing: very few things are as offensive as Green Book. It is offensive.
Yeah.
This movie is offensive because while I think it does a lot to bring light to the horrific atrocities that are in these gay conversion camps,
But
it does nothing for the gay community.
Yeah, and this is a movie that was made by Joel Edgerton, who is just simply obsessed with the. This is an interview I saw. He's like, I'm simply obsessed with these gay conversion camps. And that's all he wanted to show. And that's all that really comes across in this movie.
I agree.
There's no human element to this. This is just like torture porn to make white people be like, ooh, those are icky. We shouldn't have those anymore. But guess what? There's no solution here. And also, the characters mean nothing.
Yeah, that is very true, actually. So I'm gonna come out the gates and say, I don't necessarily like this movie very much. I honestly don't think it's that good of a movie. However, I also don't think it's that bad of a movie. It's sort of stuck in that weird limbo for me.
Look, I think basically every Oscar nom this year is dog shit, but I'd watch any of those over this fucking movie.
You'd watch Bohemian Rhapsody over this.
Oh yeah. At least they have Rami fucking doing Live Aid
and his fucking fake teeth.
His big old fake teeth.
Dude, I saw an amazing thing the other day, just on the topic of Bohemian Rhapsody.
You know what they did release though? They released the full Live Aid performance.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. On the DVD, they're you can see the full Live Aid, the full recreation of the Live Aid performance that you never saw in theaters. And it's or just watch the Live Aid performance.
Oh,
it's on YouTube.
And I have.
Yeah.
You know what I did as soon as I got home from Bo Rap was watch the Live Aid performance, and it was so good.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is that if you watch the one,
he's got 18 Pepsis on the piano, and you're like, where are those?
Yeah, what are they doing there? I saw an article about that where somebody went deep into why the fuck those Pepsi cans were there. But here's the thing: here's the question though. Is it would you rather watch the actual Live Aid performance with Freddie Mercury, or would you rather watch Rami Malek mouthing the words?
Well, that was actually something I wanted to talk to you about, since it is the Oscars. The Oscars noms are out. We should talk about that a little bit.
We actually should. Yeah, for sure.
But when do you see a performance that's good compared to a performance that is just simply imitating someone? Because Rami Malek, he's a good actor, but he's just the Live Aid is just a shot for shot remake of Freddie. Is that good acting, or is he just well choreographed? And I feel the same way when it comes to the Churchill movie and things like that. At what point is it just
even the Chaney movie?
Yeah, it's more of just a good imitation than it is good acting.
Yeah, no, actually, I get it. I get that actually, because even for instance, if you look at something like Black Klansman, right? That's based on an actual character, but what's that guy, John David Washington, who's in that movie?
Hell yeah, dude.
John David Washington's doing his own thing, and he's acting the fuck out of that movie.
Yeah.
It's not those other, because you have to bring something to the table, and I agree. While I do think those are good performances from Gary Oldman, Christian Bale, Rami Malek, I do think those are good.
They're good. They're definitely good.
They're definitely good. But you're right.
Is imitation this and I feel the Oscars or the Academy is they're hypnotized by good imitation rather than good acting.
So before we really dive deep into Boy Erased, let's actually talk about this very briefly. The Academy Award nominations. I have never been more disappointed in the Academy Award nominations list.
I'm not that surprised though.
I think that there's no 5 stars on this list, and there was lots of 5-star movies this year.
Sure.
There's not a single 5-star. This is actually pretty rare, but we actually saw every single one of these nominations before the nomination list was released.
That's right.
We saw every single one of these beforehand, and looking at these, I wouldn't give a 5-star to any of these. Some of these are 2-star films. I just don't understand. I had said to you, I think it was yesterday, I had said to you, why
none of them are in my top 10.
No, it's zero of them are in my top 20.
Favorite is for me, but
maybe Vice.
Roma.
And Roma's probably my top 20. And you know what? Maybe Klansman too. That one's pretty good.
I don't like Klansman that much.
Yeah, I like Klansman.
It's good, but it's not But if Spike Lee wins, I'm not mad because he deserves something. But
But like,
not his best
what's
work.
the point? What's the point? Here's the question that I have: what is the point of the Academy reform that they did this year? Was it just to get Black Panther?
I guess.
Nominated for Best Picture? Because other than that, this looks like a pretty fucking cut and paste. This is all Oscar bait.
Yeah.
This is all Oscar bait. Every single movie this year is Oscar bait except for Black Panther. And I'm pissed. Like I'm pissed that they're falling for it. Because like this is like, if this happened like 4 or 5 years ago, be getting like terrible movies nominated instead of like good movies like Moonlight, like, which is an actual film. Which is like, and we'll talk about it later, but there are movies that are like Moonlight that came out this year that nobody gives a shit about.
Well, Questlove of I think he's on like Jimmy Kimmel, or he's the band leader of one of those, and he was in bands before that. But he mentioned on Instagram that he's in the Academy and he votes, and the way that the list is laid out is it's alphabetical, and this was for Won't You Be My Neighbor is what he was posting about.
Yeah,
that's at the very bottom. And you start filling in things, you only get 5 votes. And by the time you get there, you're like, well, Won't You Be My Neighbor, that's a gimme. That's going to get voted regardless. So why not I just vote for some stuff that
might not, like RBG or like Minding the Gap or something like that.
Maybe not those two specifically, but some of the other ones. You just write in for maybe your friend's stuff or whatever. And then Mr. like the stuff at the bottom gets lost in the shuffle. So if you look at even the Best Picture, it's like Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Klansman, a lot of bees.
Yeah, favorite Green Book.
A lot of stuff from the top of the list. You don't see any sorry to bother you. What didn't run a campaign, so they weren't getting in. But like,
what they should have.
But you like see that kind of stuff, and you're like, maybe the people that are voting don't really watch that much stuff.
Yeah,
and maybe they don't really take that much time in voting.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I honestly think like, this is gonna sound really arrogant, but like clearly you and I watch more movies than the Academy, which is insane.
But they're waiting for their screeners and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We actually go to the movie theater sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, too true. Apparently, these people never go to they drag their kids out to see fucking In the Incredibles 2, and that's the last time they went to see a movie in the fucking movie
I'm surprised even that Isle of Dogs got nommed, to be honest.
I was shocked. Yeah, that one was shocking.
I didn't even see if like Wes was running a campain for that shit or anything. I didn't think he was.
I you know what? I doubt he was, but I bet you because it's just that good.
I sure shit don't have a Spider-Verse poster in my kitchen.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked that one got nominated for Best Animated too.
Kind
Because
of.
you and I talked about that a little bit. A lot of people
it was so
think,
late,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like I guess enough people liked it. They're like,
Yeah, they're like, if we don't do this, nerds are gonna yell at us. We got Black Panther in there. Fuck it, just throw in Spider-Man. Who gives a shit?
fuck it at this point, really.
Yeah, if we're nominating MCU movies for Best Picture, there's really no rules anymore.
At this point, fuck it, right?
Fuck it, yeah. A lot of the lead actor stuff is like, it's Oscar bait. You know, Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, Willem Dafoe. I'm never mad at that.
No,
I've not seen that movie, but I know he's good at it.
He's definitely good.
He's definitely good at it. Rami Malek, Viggo Mortensen. Okay,
Huh.
all right.
lead actor.
Lead actor. Huh. You know what's even worse about that is Mahershala Ali.
It's me, Tony the Lip.
Mahershala Ali is nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Hey, he made character though. He made
Not
character.
written like that though.
Yeah, it should be though. Lead actress, there's actually some really good ones. Yalitza Aparicio, I don't know how to say his name. Aparicio from Roma, of course. Glenn Close from The Wife. I actually haven't seen that either yet. That looks good.
I don't really want to, but I know we have to.
Olivia Colman, and I think Olivia Colman should win.
Yeah.
I think Olivia Colman.
For sure.
It'll be Lady Gaga, but it should be.
I don't think Lady Gaga's gonna win.
You don't think Lady Gaga's gonna win?
I think it's a tight race between Coleman and Glenn Close.
Oh yeah, that's true. Glenn Close, but Glenn Close is that fucking good though.
And she's never won an Oscar.
Yeah,
So.
Sam Rockwell. Don't even know why he's nominated, but I love it.
Now this is I do love that, but I have been hearing rumblings of why the fuck wasn't Timothée Chalamet nommed for that?
For Beautiful Boy.
Yeah. Instead of Sam Rockwell, who was in that movie for 5 minutes.
He was in that movie for 5 minutes, and he really is just playing Sam Rockwell, which is crazy.
He's not even doing Bush. We talked about this last week.
Sam Elliott, I think, is maybe like the shoe-in.
I hope.
Okay, but here's the question: Adam Driver?
Yeah.
We nominate. I'm sorry. We nominating fucking Kylo Ren, baby boy.
Well, he says the N-word a lot, and we like seeing that.
For Academy Award. Adam Driver. Are we fucking serious? Are we kidding? Come on, you guys. That's a B-rate actor. He's fine. He is fine. He's a fine actor.
I don't get the appeal of him. I like him fine enough.
I like him fine enough.
But I don't get like the head over heels appeal of Adam Driver.
Yeah, fuck. And then supporting actress Amy Adams, Marina Tavira, Regina King, Emma Stone, Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone. That's tight. That's pretty dope, actually. Either they both got nominated. I hope it's Amy Adams. I think she's awesome.
Sure.
I've always been fan of Amy Adams. But either way, I don't know. They're not taking any risks this year. And like I think that's bad for them.
There's two categories that are wild for me, and that would be documentary and also foreign.
Yeah, foreign's crazy.
Foreign's wild.
Yeah, I'm glad Roma got it. Like I'm glad Roma got in there.
Yeah, well, that and Shoplifters there was no questions there.
Yeah,
Burning. The fuck is Burning? How are we?
That's that South Korean movie. Right?
How are we gonna fucking snub Korea, the last people on earth who saving
film?
cinema?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Fucking Americans are out here making movies while Korea's saving film.
Every year, Korea drops a fucking atom bomb of film.
Dude, Korea might have pulled out. They might have been like, dude, they're nominating a superhero movie. Pull out. We want nothing to do with this.
We don't give a shit about this at all.
Care. Anyway, let's so that's the Academy Awards. Of course, we'll be talking about that in more length throughout the next coming weeks as the front runners start to sway a little bit. I think the front runner is still Roma. Which I think of all the movies that are nominated, like that's the one, I guess. That's the one to give it to. Certainly. Maybe Vice. I like even then. I don't know.
I would say Star is Born is definitely second in command.
Well, I think that's the second in. It's the second. It's not my second favorite movie nominated, but
it's second.
Yeah, it's the second pick right now. Yeah, it definitely is. And honestly,
it's the popular movie.
Honestly, I think people are saying Roma right now just to be nice, and like 2 days before the Oscars, they're gonna be like, I'll be Star is Born, and then Star is Born is gonna win.
See, here's the thing, though. Everyone saw Star is Born. It's the popular movie.
That's true.
It's the popular movie.
But also, Roma's on Netflix, so like.
But that doesn't mean anybody watched it, though. Like the thing about Netflix is they release all this shit, and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's very true. Because like even like on my movie queue, I have like fucking like 7 Netflix movies. That
Firefest documentary though. Holy fuck, that's good.
Is that good?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that at some point. So let's talk about Boy Erased a little bit more. Here's something I want to get out of the way is that despite the fact that, as you mentioned, none of the characters really mean or do anything, performances are all great here.
Sure.
Lucas Hedges, he's good. I like him a lot. He's a little bit over the top in this one. Like sometimes when he's yelling, I don't really buy it. Yeah. Russell Crowe is great.
I didn't realize that was Russell Crowe.
He's always fat, dude. He's so fat.
Big
he's
these days.
massive now.
I knew he was getting big, but Christ, he's like Orson Welles.
He plays like Christian
he's
Dad.
Fucking ballooning up.
Remember in Gladiator when he was shredded?
Russell Crowe looks like he downs 2 bottles of wine every night. He's got that alcohol head where your head just gets fucking big, player. And that gut that's just hard, that hard gut, dude, that Orson Welles had towards the end of his life. Apparently, I was listening to an interview with Peter Bogdanovich, who he did like Paper Moon. Movies. Last Picture Show. And he was talking about how he was roommates with Orson Welles for a while towards the end of his life. And Orson Welles used to just down a box of Fudgicles every night. Just down a box of them. He's like, yeah, he loved those motherfuckers.
Dude, that's amazing. But yeah, anyway, Russell Crowe, he plays like the Christian dad, and like I swear to God, he was gonna start taking off his belt and start doing the sheepdog speech from American Sniper at some point. Like
at this table,
yeah, you're a sheepdog.
You're a sheepdog.
Then we got Nicole Kidman, who's blowing the fucking doors off this motherfucker.
She's good. But the thing about her character is, I don't buy the sudden 180 switch.
Yeah,
don't buy it.
You know what? She has the monologue in the middle of the movie that sort of is like trying to buy back the 180 switch, but I still think it's powerful.
Also like 210 player.
You could have transitioned.
Holy
into
fuck, be less. Be less long.
Yeah,
since it's a movie about fucking nothing,
yeah. Because that is because like honestly, like you can say all you want about this movie being like semi-offensive or not, or maybe not even offensive, but more just like neglectful of the gay community.
It's insensitive.
Yeah, insensitive, sure. But this movie's biggest sin is that it's fucking boring. This movie's biggest sin is that it is really fucking boring. But There is one thing I super love about this movie. Can you guess what that is?
Probably Joel Edgerton.
Oh, God damn, he's fucking good, dude.
Yeah, and
God, he's fucking good.
And it's like when he was writing this movie, he's like, I want to make Whiplash, but at a gay conversion camp, and I get it.
Yeah.
And it does a good job of highlighting the horrors of a Mike Pence fucking conversion camp, of a Mike Pence conversion camp.
I think so. Yeah, fucking Mike Pence camp, but the ye old Camp Pence. I think it does to a certain degree. A lot of it, like as like wacky as it is, it's presented so tamely. Like it's clearly insanity, but they're saying it's so tamely, and that's the point, I guess. But like because it's so tame, like it sort of brings me down. Like it brings me down to be like, oh, okay, they're really just, they're just building a family tree. Okay, that's ain't so bad, Like and like I had that moment a few times in this movie, but then of course things do happen in this movie that really really back, and you're like, oh, that's fucked up. You can't. Oh Jesus, that's fucking getting. And of course, medically and like scientifically, there's no reason for such a thing to exist as a gay conversion camp. It doesn't make any sense. It's like I don't know.
But the problem I have with this movie is the same problem I had with Love, Simon, and it's made for white people
who feel bad,
rich white people who feel bad about this but aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's made for like parents that are like, ooh boy, I guess that's bad.
You know what I find kind of weird about this movie? So this movie is based on a real book.
Yeah.
The book is also called Boy Erased, and it's a true story, and it was written by Gerard Conley. This guy Gerard Conley. Now, obviously, it makes sense to change the name of all the characters, but why'd they change the name of the main character if it's based on his book that's about him? And here's why I say that, okay? Because it's really not a problem that they changed the main character's name until the very end of the movie, because then you get those fucking title cards, which, by the way, I fucking hate. You know that.
Oh, let's get some title cards in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it gets the title cards, and it's like, Gerard Conley now lives in downtown New York with his husband. And then it's like, who the fuck is Gerard Conley? Who the fuck are we talking about here? But like, it makes sense to change the other characters' names, especially the Victor Sykes character. Definitely change his name. That's perfect because like that's a real person who's living his own life now, But as soon as you do that, who the fuck's Gerard Conley? Who the fuck is? I had to look it up. I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, I thought his name was Jared Emmons. Like, what are we talking about, Gerard Conley?
So there's another movie about this exact topic that came out this year called The Miseducation of Cameron Post, also based on a book that had Chloe Moretz Grace and Sacha Lane from American Honey. I saw that at a festival. That's better. It's still not great, but it's
still not great. Yeah,
it's 90.
Yeah,
and I'm good with that because that's about all I need, and it's a little funnier. It more pokes fun a little bit at the whole idea of it.
Because this movie takes itself really seriously.
Way too serious.
Yeah, and like there's not a single person who smiles at anything in this movie. Like this is a frowny movie. Everybody's frowning all the time. There's no point in this movie that brings you back up. So it's just the movie just kicks you down over and over and over and over. And then there's like that scene at the car dealership at the end. And man, here's the thing: is at the gay conversion camp. It's like, okay, I'm kind of bored, but I'm in. That third act,
oh, dude.
Holy fuck! I do not fucking care,
dude. Once he is removed from the camp, that's the end of the movie, as far as I'm concerned.
But there's another 40 minutes.
Keeps going.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do I need this for? It's just for that Russell Crowe moment. That's not even as good as "Call Me by Your Name" moment, which is what they're trying to go for.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even really. The same thing.
Well, because you don't got Stolberg,
but you don't have Stolberg. But I feel like the Nicole Kidman like ending when she pulls him out and they're talking. That's good enough. That's the ending.
I watched something old the other day, and I never realized Stolberg was in it, and then he's just there. Oh, it was Hugo, Martin Scorsese's Hugo.
Okay.
I was watching that the other day. I'm like, yo, fucking Stolberg's in this movie.
Hey, look, there's Stolberg.
Hey, look, there he is. He just pops up sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
I think sometimes he might edit himself into movies that already exist because I swear to God he wasn't in them before.
Yeah, the Topher Grace maneuver.
yeah, the classic Topher Grace. Another thing that I find kind of troubling about this movie is that. Now, obviously, this is based on a true story, but like the first openly gay character that we see, does he have to rape a guy?
Yeah.
Like, does he have
straight
to,
up brutally raping?
Yeah, like, does he have to rape a guy? Like that looks bad on the gay community. That the first openly gay character that is in this movie rapes somebody, Because like
Violent.
that's the point. That's the point that Joel Edgerton is making when he's like, if you're straight, you have a family and children and have a hopeful life. If you're gay, you have a rape. You have
gay or Mexican, you're a rapist.
yeah, you have a rape and you have a AIDS. That was really great when he was going through all the terrible things. Yeah, eat the poo-poo. Wait, stop that. Stop. Don't do that. Oh man.
What do you mean?
But then, like that character of Henry, who's like the rapist, he just becomes the bad guy of the movie for some reason. And I'm like,
it wouldn't be a movie written by a straight man without a gay villain.
yeah,
A stereotype of a gay villain.
he becomes like sort of like a bad guy, and it's like, why is he so evil? Because like he's just doing mean things for no reason.
Hello there, I'm Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
Caricature, the gay villain.
I do like that. The first half of this movie has sort of like a non-linear plot structure, which by the way they drop halfway through the movie. But I do kind of like the way that it's set up at first. Where
no,
like,
I hate that.
Really?
shit,
You
dude.
don't
I
like
had
that?
no idea what the fuck was happening.
oh, I'm sorry. You better open your papers.
But it's too boring too. That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
problem.
yeah,
It's
that is
too
true.
boring to open my eyes.
Yeah.
The exact problem I had with the Sister Brothers. What are you gonna rate this bad boy?
I'm gonna rate this one 3. I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever
I'm
seen.
gonna
but
give
it's
it a
certainly
2
not
because it is bad.
it's not.
And I
the
don't
worst,
give
yeah.
bad movies 3 stars like Chadley.
There's some powerful imagery and like some powerful lines in this movie, but I mean, for the most part, it's too fucking.
Go
boring.
watch Miseducation Camera Post.
Yeah.
Would be my recommendation if you need to see this.
if you absolutely have to see this. What are we talking about next?
Sisters Brothers.
Sisters, Brothers. So here's the thing about this movie. I think I'm off base. I honestly think I'm off base because I posted my review of this movie. Okay, so first of all, straight up, I fucking love this movie. I think this movie is fucking awesome and like very, very good. Very captivating, super entertaining, and everybody, you included, commented on my review and it's like, this movie is really boring. So many people commented that.
I've also read the book. And to me, the book doesn't scream, let's adapt this into a movie.
Yeah.
Because it's so linear.
Yeah.
And the movie is also so linear, but the thing and the thing about the book that is very different than the movie is that the book is funny. And I feel like none of the jokes land in the movie.
I think there are good jokes in here.
I think almost
you weren't,
none of it lands.
You weren't laughing when John C. Reilly was feebly attempting to brush his teeth and Jake Gyllenhaal comes out fucking brushing like a pro like that. That didn't get you yuckling?
No.
I was yuckling.
Barely
dude.
moved my eyes. Once he starts calling him a basset hound, that's when I looked at my phone and then I looked up and the credits were rolling. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I have to watch this shit again. And I just wasted 2 fucking hours. I looked at my phone, I looked up, and the credits were rolling. That's how little of an impact this movie made on me the first time. If I would have rated it the first time, that would have been an easy 1 star. The second time I watched it, slightly better. I was paying attention. I know the plot anyway, so I wasn't too concerned about that.
Yeah.
But there are some good things about it. I don't think it's terrible.
I think it's a very well shot movie. I think it's super beautiful looking movie. I don't know. Like I said, I think I'm off base because I was like endlessly entertained by this movie. I found like almost every scene to be captivating. There's almost nothing I would change about this movie.
Oh, it's so long. I
didn't find it.
Nothing, player.
I didn't find it that long though. Like I really enjoyed. I didn't feel the length time or the runtime.
Dude, it was
I
like
didn't feel it at all.
Oh, dude, it was like when you go to work and there's nothing to do at work and you're just counting the minutes for me. Holy shit! I'm like, when is this going to end? Because it's just the same scene over and over and over. They're like, oh, we're almost at Fort Lauderdale now. Whoop. We're almost at Arizona now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're almost at San Francisco now.
But I think that each of those destinations had their own like unique ideas and unique visuals as well as like their own unique set of events. Like when they go to Mayfield, like that Mayfield scene is fucking amazing.
Which one is that? I wouldn't even be able to tell you which one that is.
That's the one where they're in the
same.
hotel and they get ambushed by the guys in the fur coats, and then they find out that the guys in the fur coats were hired by the lady, and they shoot the lady in the head. And there's so much fun shootouts in this movie. Like it starts out with a fun shootout. Like I'm sorry, what part of this movie was boring? Was it the
All of it.
shootouts? Was it
I don't even
the barn fire?
Honestly, I don't even remember any shootouts except for the one at the end.
Really? Because there's the
I
one.
don't remember them.
Because there's the one. There's the one in Mayfield as well.
So there's two.
There's three. Because
Okay, I remember one of them,
Yeah.
and that's why it's boring because I don't fucking remember anything about this movie.
But like, here's the thing: is that this movie's not about that. Although I do like that, it's not about that. It's about the relationship between Eli and Charlie.
Yeah,
as
and
well
I like
as,
that.
as well
just
as
fine. I get that it's not an action movie. It's right now.
It's a character
fucking
piece.
mid tier. Mid-budget westerns are the hotness. There's so much stuff like this right now.
Yeah, but I don't know. This one does a lot for me. It also could be, and there's also some evidence to debunk my theory that I'm about to be that this might be a Darjeeling Limited type thing where it's like this movie's better if you have brothers. This movie might be better if you have brothers that you're close with, and I do have brothers that I'm close with. So I really feel that relationship between Eli and Charlie.
But that's not the thing that I don't like about it. It's everything around it I don't like about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I had a really good time. I was.
But also, your
glued.
brothers don't like this movie.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said there's evidence to debunk this theory. But I do think I did have a really good time.
I'm also not convinced that the book is that good because I've read it and it's completely fine.
I've never read
it's more of like a satire of Wild West than it is actual Wild West.
But this is like very Wild West, and that's kind of what I like about. Like, I love the aesthetic. It might be just that I'm in a Western mood lately.
Well, I like westerns.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think westerns are great.
I mean, I was in a
I
Western
just watched
mood. and
Unforgiven the other day. Holy fuck, that movie's
That movie's
good.
so fucking good. That's
It's like, I don't even like Clint. That movie's fucking phenomenal.
That's a 7, dude. That movie is a fucking 7. It's so good. And obviously, this isn't as good as Unforgiven.
No.
Or even like
Buster
something
Scruggs.
like
I'd rather watch Buster Scruggs than this shit.
I like this better than Buster Scruggs.
No,
actually.
absolutely not.
This isn't as good as like that or like Django Unchained. Like there's
Django, Hateful Eight. I like Hateful Eight more.
I might like this.
You like this movie more than Hateful Eight? The dialogue is written by a 5-year-old compared to Hateful Eight.
Yeah, it would be close, I think, because I like both those movies a lot.
Close.
like-
Close.
It might
This
go to
movie's like
Hateful
as
Eight,
good
but
as Slow West, that A24 movie with
No.
Fast Finger.
No,
Yeah.
come on, player. This is better than Slow West.
No, dude.
But I also really like the relationship between the Riz Ahmed and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Fucking
By the way, everybody's fucking
Bone
amazing.
Tomahawk is like the movie that cuts that, like when they cut that guy in half in Bone Tomahawk. Fucking Sisters Brothers is that guy that they cut in half in Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk kicks the shit out of this movie.
But as I was saying, everybody is fucking great in this movie. By the way,
Of course, the cast is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Joaquin, Joaquin. Here's the thing, though. You got Joaquin
Killing
and,
it.
and Gyllenhaal.
This is a murderer's row,
Yeah,
dude.
two of the best actors in the world, and they're both being outacted by John C. Reilly. What?
And
That's so
Riz
good.
Ahmed out here.
Yeah, dude, I love Riz. I thought Riz Ahmed would be sunk after Venom, dude.
Well,
I thought he was sunk.
They filmed these at the same time, and this got a limited release, so he is sunk still.
Oh, rest in peace, Riz Ahmed. Just kidding. There's 4 more fucking. What's the name? I was trying to think of it yesterday. I'm so annoyed about Venom that I literally forget the name, like the villain name that Riz Ahmed's character had. Well, is like. It was like Anarchy or like Evil Man or like
Riot, bro.
Riot, yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the one. Fucking Riot, dude. I hate that goddamn movie. It's-
Dude, I'm so excited for Morbius and Venom 2. What a slate Sony has for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. No, but overall, like I think it's a beautiful movie. I get what people say when they say that they may have found it boring. I just didn't find it boring. I was entertained. I really enjoyed the characters, the way that they
I think that's
interacted
fair.
with each other.
This isn't your worst take of all time. I just like I don't get it.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine too. Like I said, I
And
understand.
I also
how
don't think
someone
it's
could find
I don't
this
think
boring.
it's that bad. I still think this is a 3-star because it's great to look at. The acting is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Storyline has some to be desired. It's the most straight across the
I
board
think if
story of all time.
I think if there was anything I would change about this ending or this movie, I don't like the ending. That's the only thing I think I would change about this movie. Other than that, I had a really good time. I'll probably watch this movie again. Like
I'll never see this again.
I had a really good time. It's a 5-star movie.
I understand. A 5-star movie.
I'm gonna give this 5.
What?
I really loved it, dude. I really loved this movie. Super loved it. I'm gonna give it a 5-star.
What? Yeah. You're gonna have to go a little bit deeper onto why you think it's a 5-star.
Because it entertained me from front to back.
But why?
Why? Because I love the way the characters interact as well as the set pieces that are strung between it. It's a good-looking movie. The performances are out of this world. It's a 5.
You think that plot line's a 5? If you handed that
But
in,
it's not about the plot line. It's about the
sure it
relationships.
is. It's a film.
It's about the relationships between the characters and how they connect the plot. And I also do like the plot.
If you handed the script in, if you handed the book in or the script to your high school teacher, they would have gave you a C+ player. The only reason this is good is because the actors are good.
Yeah, but so is the cinematography, the visuals.
It's out here putting people to sleep, though.
Okay, but
It's out
beautiful.
here putting people unconscious.
Okay, maybe, but not me.
Okay.
I was entertained front to back, 5 stars. I just think I would change the ending to make it a little less cozy. You know,
It's easy. Too easy. We'll let Twitter pick you apart for that one. I'm not gonna go any more into this.
beat the shit out of me, Twitter. What are we talking about next?
I guess we'll go into Predator 2.
Holy fuck, dude! This is the worst movie I've ever seen.
It's really bad,
dude. Predator. How? Okay, when people talk about like worst sequels of all time, what comes up? Like Exorcist 2. What else? I'm sure there's plenty of others that I'm just not thinking of right
Crystal Skull.
Yeah, sure. Crystal Skull. Fucking Phantom Menace, maybe. Or Attack of the Clones, I guess more specifically.
Lion King 3.
Lion King. Wait, is there 3 of those things?
Fucking no, dude. I'm just yelling
Lion
stuff.
King 1.5 or whatever that's called.
1.5 is good.
No, it ain't. But nobody talks about Predator 2, and it's the worst.
It's really bad. Because this is a joke I wrote for Twitter earlier. Though it was like, it took Jason 8 movies to get to a city. Predator only took 2, and once you get to a city, it's over. Player might as well be in space. You know where they go next?
Space.
Into fucking space. Yo, so Predator straight up saw the trajectory of a shitty horror franchise, and they're like, let's just jump ahead because they're gonna be bad.
Yeah, let's get right into. Here's the thing: is that they set it up. It's in L.A. There's like a bunch of like people just shooting at each
Straight
other.
out of Valverde.
Yeah, straight out of Valverde, right into L.A. And I'm like, I like where this is headed. I like what we got going in here.
You got Danny Glover.
Danny Glover rolling
as
up.
a grizzled LA detective
You want to
or
know?
something.
You want to know how 90s this movie is? It's so 90s that the main characters are Danny Glover and Gary Busey. Pre-car crash, Gary Busey.
CTE Gary Busey before he had his skull caved in on a curve.
And here's the thing: is that neither of them are that good in this movie. However, there is one actor who's going 5,000%. That's fucking Bill Paxton, dude.
Oh, dude,
And
Bill Paxton is always going.
He's not acting in this movie, but it's still really silly what he's doing.
Yeah, and Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, Morton Downey Jr. I like. The girl I actually really like, and you know why? That girl who's like the main character in this movie, who by the way, she does nothing in this.
Hey, you doing fucking nothing?
In fact, most of the characters, even like Bill Paxton, does nothing.
No, Bill Paxton does nothing, but I love him.
That main girl who's got like the short hair. I love that girl because she is the actress who plays Alva in the movie Vampire's Kiss, which is the name of the character, which is the character that Nicolas Cage is tormenting.
Conchita.
Yeah, that is her. And that's the name of the character that Nicolas Cage is tormenting throughout that entire movie for no reason. God, that movie is so stupid and awesome. I love it.
I'm a vampire.
I'm a vampire. But here's the question that I have, and like it was the first major red flag for me that this movie wasn't good. Why is Predator? Okay, just hold with me for a sec. Why is the Predator targeting gang members? Because like
Colombian and Jamaican gang members is what they specify them as.
Yeah, Jamaican, yeah,
And Colombian. But
and by the way, if you're gonna have a movie that has a bunch of gang members in it and they're all Jamaican, here's rule number 1: don't call them the Jamaican Voodoo Gang and have them wear silly robes
gotta
and put
dread 'em up,
bones.
though.
Yeah,
Gotta
dread them up. This movie is also very racist, by the way, but it was also the 90s.
Like,
they didn't know better.
It's early 90s racism, though.
Yeah.
It's just like stereotype. It's not really racism, but
it's like
filled with
racist at like
stereotypes.
it's like racist the same way that what was that like second James Bond movie that had all like the New Orleans fellas in it?
Yeah,
From Russia with Love. Yeah, it's like it's racist the way that is. And then like that first Roger Moore one that also has the New Orleans guys in it.
Yeah.
Where he's jumping across the alligators.
Live
Live and Let Die.
and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. That movie's also racist, but like,
It's good, though.
but that was also 70s. This is 90s. Like we almost knew better, but not quite.
Not quite. In the 90s, you're still saying faggot and retard quite a bit.
Yeah,
quite
like,
a bit.
And like, there's parts of this movie where they're like, "We're gonna kill you," and they're like, "What? How are you gonna kill me?" And he's like, "Voodoo magic," and I'm like, "Stop."
Okay.
You know what I love though is that this movie was made in 1990 and is set in the futuristic year of 1997. Hey, play. What? Why'd you set it in 1990? There wasn't futuristic tech or anything. Why'd you just set it in 1990, guys?
Who cares? No, like, fucking Predator 1 wasn't set in any time because it was in Valverde, a fictional country. Although in this one, they have the Colombian drug dealers. That's almost like backtracking on Valverde, in my opinion.
Yeah, that might be a throwback. Shocking throwback.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither.
Might as well say they're from Valverde.
Yeah, just say they're Valverde. But this movie's fucking wild because much like the first movie, you don't see the Predator for like an hour and 20.
But then you see a lot of them.
then you see it a lot. But here's the thing: I'm seeing Predator 2. I've seen the first one. Okay, you don't gotta pretend like I don't know what this thing looks like again. All right.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be any suspense.
Yeah, that's why Aliens is good because they knew that. They're like, fuck it, just show that thing a million times. You know, that's why Aliens is good. Oh man! And then there's like this. Okay, there's just so much wild shit in this movie. I just have no explanation for. There's like a scene where like Bill Paxton and Danny Glover are running out on the streets, and these pimps just roll up, and Danny Glover gets in the pimp car with them, and the pimp turns to him and goes, "Hey, brother, you want some ganja, man?" And I'm like, "What?
Legalize it."
Yeah, that's a cop. Like, you fucking guy.
And then
man.
that almost leads exactly into the best scene in the movie where the Predator says "motherfucker" for some reason.
Oh yeah. Oh, but before we get to that, there's one scene that I just begs an explanation for me, and it's the scene where Danny Glover goes to the graveyard.
Yeah.
And it's like he's like putting a picture next to a grave, and it's like clearly him and like an ex-partner, and it's like, what's this about? Because it's never brought up before or after that. It's
And
just,
also,
what's this about?
unnecessary.
Yeah, what's this about?
Because it's like, oh, he's like the old grizzled veteran, and he's like he gets the hot shit detective partner, but also none of that matters.
Yeah, Bill
at all.
Paxton.
Yeah, you get the hot shit Bill Paxton, but also none of this matters at all.
No, none of it matters at all because it's really just leading up to like the climax of the movie, which is not very good.
Oh, dude, it's nonsense,
Yeah, 'cause
player.
they're like fighting the Predator in like a fucking freezer, and Gary Busey just rolls up and he's like, "Get out of here! This is between me and the Predator." And it's like, "What are you doing?" And he immediately gets murdered. And it's like, "What are we talking about here? Why are we in the freezer?"
Yeah,
And then
this one's crazy because it's like they couldn't afford to shoot in a jungle, so they're like, let's just shoot in this warehouse in downtown LA.
oh, and you couldn't have fixed that fucking shitty Predator CGI.
Oh, dude,
Couldn't have fixed it?
CGI is horrific.
It looks
dude.
bad. Here's the thing: is that like a part of me is like, oh, AVP is next. That's 2004. I'm sure it'll be better. But 2004 was a weird time for CGI. It might be worse. It might actually be worse. So
good.
I'm not too sure. But then like, oh yeah, there's also a scene in the graveyard where the kid is like offering the Predator candy, and the Predator like almost kills him, but then pussies out.
Yeah, he doesn't kill kids. He's much like Michael Myers. He does not kill kids.
Yeah, he cannot kill a child.
Does not kill a child
Cannot do it.
unless he is a child.
Couldn't have fixed that. And then they go, and then you got the Crystal Skull ending, man. And
Holy shit! The Crystal Skull ending is
my
bananas.
my
dude.
eyes are rolling back into my head. I'm trying not to like, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to watch. I watched this movie right before podcast. I had to watch it all in one sitting. But if I didn't have to watch it all in one sitting, this would have been 4 sittings, easy. And it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's not that long,
Easy, dude.
Yeah, it's would easily been a 4 sitting type movie. It is horrific because the first hour is about nothing. It's not about anything. They're not chasing the Predator. Predator's not doing anything.
It's about the gangs that just like Predator kills. Like they're like, who killed these gang members? Oh, it was Predator.
Great, perfect. And then
It's like in Dexter when they're like trying to figure out who's the killer, and it's like Dexter the entire time.
Yeah.
That's this shit. But it's invisible Predator that they're like, oh, it's a voodoo monster.
absolutely
It's
bananas.
Predator.
Absolutely fucking bananas.
We have to talk about the fucking Crystal Skull ending though, because there's all these predators in the spaceship.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's like 10 of them. And you know what's great about them?
Because he kills one of them.
is that this is the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my life. Is this scene. Because they're clearly on a green screen, like they're not actually in it.
Yeah.
But the set that they're supposed to be on has fog on it. Has fog on it. So they just cut their legs straight across the board on the green screen.
So it just looks like
It looks like they're just floating there.
because the fog doesn't wrap around their legs because they're superimposed on there. It's the worst special effects of all time. And then they're just carrying them, and it's like, I didn't save mine, and they're like carrying it, and then Predator just turns to Danny Glover for some reason after he killed one of their friends, and he just tosses him a gun.
He's like, hey, kid, catch.
It's like,
Oh, they talk way too much in this movie.
they
by
talk
the way.
so much.
They talk a lot. They're like, "Hey, dead boy." It's like, "What's going on here? Hey, you want some candy?" Why did Predator keep asking people if he wanted candy?
Dude, why do they sound like podcast spots?
Yeah, motherfucker. Oh man. And then like they just are like, get off the spaceship. After he kills the Predator, they're like, get out of here, get the fuck out of here, and he just does, and then somebody, and here's the wackiest part: is that somebody is like, I didn't get to kill one. Yeah, I didn't get to kill one. And he's
I
like,
didn't save mine.
he's like, don't worry, you'll get your chance. And it's like, no, because Predator 3 could not be greenlit after this.
Unfortunately, you destroyed all chances that there could be another sequel. Yet there was 4 more.
4 more we have to talk about. Yeah. And it just like, to me, it feels like they got Busey and Danny Glover to replace Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger, and goddamn, that's just such
Doesn't work.
Wild downgrade
Doesn't
on both
work.
effects.
You need to at least get Carl Weathers back.
Yeah. Well, no,
Very
he's dead as fuck.
Who cares? It's Alien Resurrection.
Okay, perfect. I can't wait.
Same universe.
Same uni. All right, yeah, fair enough. Actually, it's fair enough. This movie is one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen. This is a half star.
It's very bad. One star.
1 star. Wow, you're not going halfy on that one?
No, it doesn't deserve that kind of praise. It doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
That's special. That very special rating.
Fair enough. All right. Do we want to talk about? Let's just talk about Cold War really briefly, because we already talked about it during the film festival when you went to see it. Now I've seen this movie, and this movie
think
is
about it?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's so okay. Like I don't have a lot to say about
Beautiful
it. To be honest.
cinematography, though.
Amazing looking movie. Like it genuinely looks like a movie made in like the 50s.
I
40s,
think I
or
talked
50s.
about this, but my biggest problem is it just kind of rushes through their life, and it's their whole life.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
so fast.
Absolutely. Like they just sort of push you through
It is
and
90 minutes, and I appreciate that.
And they don't take the time to actually explain any of it. They'll just be like hanging out one scene, and then it'll be like 2 years later, and it's like, so you're married, huh? Yep. And it's like, oh, okay, okay, we're just gonna get into that. I do love the dynamic between these two characters,
Sure.
and like I do love like the sort of the bittersweetness of the movie about like how like these two people are hopelessly in love and will never be together.
Yeah.
And they will, and like it's very bittersweet, and I do love that sort of thing. But the movie, it's just like, it feels so anticlimactic, especially at that ending. Like when he loses the ability to play piano, and then and then fucking, they just hang out at the bus stop, and like
They go kill themselves.
well, yeah, yeah, sure, but like, I don't know. It does feel to me like it was drier than I thought it would be. Like looking at the trailers, this looks like it would be a little bit more grandiose, especially given like the first like 20 minutes of the movie where it's like there's a lot of build up of her being like in like the Polish opera and stuff like that.
That stuff's pretty good, though.
Yeah, and that's the stuff I really like. And then the movie just sort of stops being about that, and then it starts being about
When they go to Paris, and it's just kind of about nothing after that.
Yeah, basically from the time they go to Paris onward, it's not about anything. It's really just not about anything. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either, because sometimes that's just how it goes, especially like in that time era where like, it was before like cell phones and Facebook. Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I might have to backpedal on that one. In that era, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't cell phones. It was just like, oh, if you
really?
Yeah,
there wasn't Facebook or Twitter.
It's wild to think about, dude. It's wild. I cannot possibly live in a world without Twitter at this point. But yeah, it's just sort of it's sort of that weird dynamic that these people see each other like once every 2 years, and every time they do, they can't help but like hopelessly fall in love again. Even though he's a fuckface, like he is a fuckface, and that is also one of my problems with the movie is that like, and he has no reason to be a fuckface. So like he does that thing where he's like, no, I'm hopelessly in love with you. I'll do anything for you. And then in the next scene, he's like, you look like a whore, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? But I think it's fine. Like I don't think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But for what it is,
I get why it was nominated because it's in black and white.
It's in black and white and it looks great. And
if only Burning was in black and white, it would have taken that spot.
And if
I'll never stop being pissed about Burning not being in.
Yeah, and
nommed.
The two main characters in this movie, man, they look out of that time. Like they look like they come from the 50s. Like if I saw that person in 2018 or 2019, I'd be like, whoa, what the?
I'd also
fuck?
be like, hey, that person is super European.
Yeah, they're both very European. He's got a giant Frankenstein forehead.
What a jaw.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this movie's perfectly fine. 3 out of 5 on the charts.
Yeah, that's where I had it too.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. Blindspotting's the best fucking movie I've ever seen.
Holy fuck, it's so
dude,
good.
it's the best. I like the credits started rolling.
I was
turned
pissed that we didn't watch it sooner.
Yeah, I turned to the person I was watching it with. The credits started rolling, and I was like, "That's the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my entire life." That's the first thing I said. The first words that came out of my mouth, and I've been thinking about it since I saw it.
To me, this is this year's Florida Project.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And you know how much I love Florida Project. God damn, that movie is good. Yeah, this movie, it's so endlessly unique, and that's why I think it's good, because it does have an important message to tell about like the normalcy, and that is the best thing about it. So what this movie's about is that this guy witnesses the police shoot a man in like shoot a black man in the street, and then they said that he was armed even though he wasn't. And like so much of the movie is not about that. And I think the reason that that's so brilliant is that it defines how people react to this, because it happens so goddamn often in the United States, especially in like the Oakland area, like you know, and like and I think it happens a lot up in Florida as well.
Chicago,
Chicago, Detroit, you know, places like that, Detroit,
Atlanta.
It's your boy Detroit, and like it happens a lot in places like this, and people shrug it off because it's so frequent, and like this is not something obviously that should be happening as frequently as it does, but this movie certainly paints a picture about A, how you just continue going on with your life, but B, how it also emotionally takes a humongous toll on you to see something like that and to be part of something like that.
Yeah,
you know, Daveed Diggs.
Holy shit, he's good.
God damn, why would this dude should have been nom for Best Actor and should win over all those fucking guys. I'm sorry, Christian Bale in a prosthetic nose?
Oh, dude. I'm poor Daveed, trapped in Hamilton until 2021, not able to do anything of value with his time.
Can we get him the fuck out of that Lin-Manuel vehicle, please?
Can we get him out of that? And the thing I like about this has the rapping that Hamilton has at just random intervals, but it actually makes sense in this fucking context.
Yeah, it makes sense
in
this context.
Alexander Hamilton fucking rapping.
Much more powerful.
Oh, yeah, for
it's
sure.
Way more powerful here, like especially like that scene where he's rapping at the police officer.
Because that's the best scene I've seen this year, probably, and it's all of the rapping, and it's not as frequent as I was led to believe by the critics that were so pissed about the rapping in this movie. And the point is that it builds up to that climax.
Yeah, absolutely, and that climax is unreal. And here's the thing. Is that
it's also one of the funniest fucking movies I've seen this year. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
the entire
I was
movie.
laughing a lot. Yeah, this movie's super funny. But
like
that
when
scene,
they have all the guns at the beginning.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's good.
So that scene that you were talking about, like where he's rapping at the cop, that's not going to be. I don't want to get too deep into it because we're going to do our scene of the year eventually. But that's not my favorite scene. It's my second favorite scene of the year. However, my first favorite scene of the year, also in this fucking movie, and it's the goddamn Scorpion Bowl scene.
Oh, dude, the Scorpion Bowl. So this dude's a Scorpion King.
Yeah, this dude's the fucking.
Oh,
Scorpion
sorry, I
King.
lost my mind for a minute there.
yeah. This movie, it just has so many memorable moments. Like that Scorpion Bowl scene is amazing, and it's like 15 minutes. It's really long, and
this movie is not.
Yeah,
not
it's like 95 minutes. Yeah. It's a perfect length, you know, for what it's trying to do.
Cut out the shit that doesn't matter. Then you got movie.
Yeah, this is.
Then you got movie.
We've been saying this forever. Hey, take Boy Erased, make it 90 minutes. Might give it 4 stars.
Then you got
Who
movie.
knows? You might have a good movie. But Blindspotting, they're like, nah, we're just gonna cut out all the shit don't matter. Make it 95 minutes. I make it best movie of all time. Fuck. Why are more people not talking about this movie? Like that's
I don't know. Obama put it on his list, and he was on to something.
yeah. Wayne Knight's not so fat these days.
Wayne Knight's looking good,
Yeah, he's
dude. I was like, Newman player.
Yeah. There's just so many interesting scenes. Like I love the scene where like trying to sell the boat that they
Dude,
stole.
That seems
Yeah.
hilarious.
On the side of the road, and like when he goes into the hair salon and tries to sell the hair straighteners.
It's genuinely a funny movie.
Yes, absolutely, but it does have that powerful message, and it just has so many moments that will stick in your head, like face phasing, like that just sticks in your head, like the scene with the face phasing. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things about this.
It's
movie
also a
that's-
crazy looking movie.
Yeah,
Like-
looks really wild. The cinematography is unlike anything I've seen before. It's edited very bizarrely. Like it's got like this swift editing style that I like.
It's so fluid. It feels so. The entire movie feels so fluid.
Yeah, but it's like the
It feels
swift.
like a rap song.
It's like the swift editing style, but it's not like Danny Boyle swift editing style. You know what I'm talking about? It's like its own thing.
But the Danny Boyle or like Edgar Wright, like
Yeah,
where
yeah. Like it's not like that.
where it's very intentional, and every time it makes a cut, it goes. Whoosh, whoosh. Dude, Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Why does every time I make a cut, it's got to make a sound?
Yeah.
95 cuts per scene.
Two main characters, by the way, are fucking awesome characters.
Yeah, I love that other guy too. I don't know. I don't really. know his
Yeah,
name.
I don't know what he is
And
either.
of
But
course,
like,
Letterboxd is broken, so I can't look up fucking anything today.
yeah, rest in peace, Letterbox. Is it got the Gremlins picture where they're like,
No, it
sitting
has
going-
nothing. It just is blank.
Oh, rest in peace, Letterbox. But there's probably the best scene in this movie is the scene where, like, right after Miles has done, because Miles is like the white friend who's like a really bad guy. Like, he's,
Raphael Cizelle.
yeah, Raphael Cizelle, and he's like a really bad guy, and he's fucking around all the time. And the whole point of this movie is that the main character Colin is on his last 3 days
Yeah.
of probation.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in this movie is like when he's talking about trying to get an apartment, and he's like, "Yeah, on those apartment applications, it says have you ever been convicted for a crime, and so I can't get an apartment." And the mom's like, "Yeah, whose fault is that?" That's. I just love the snarkiness.
Welcome to Oakland, bitch.
Yeah, welcome to Oakland. But
Now,
there's
that's one thing I did want to mention. Oakland having a hell of a year.
Yeah, this
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Damn, Oakland needs to win an Oscar for best location of the year.
And the Oscar goes to, sorry guys, Oakland.
Oakland just won everything. I don't know. Weird.
we don't know what that means. That fucking old guy who read Moonlight wrong is up there, did not knowing what to do. There is like one of the most powerful scenes I've seen in any movie this year is like right after they like go to like that, there's like this party that they go to, and the white guy makes like this huge ruckus and they call the cops on him. And Colin, who's the black guy, is like, "You're the guy who did it. I'm the guy they're looking for." And like that is such a powerful thing to say.
Yeah, and that scene when he's running away and like the cops are driving by and stuff.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in my entire life. I've literally like no film or any personal event has ever made me feel that stressed out. and
Really, not when
uncomfortable.
you eat 5 pies in a row, you don't feel stressed out that your heart's gonna implode. Fat
No,
fucking
I'm dude. I'm hoping the heart implodes, dude. I'm eating myself to death.
If you walked into a doctor and he was like, "You have cancer and you're gonna die in 8 weeks," you would kiss him on the lips.
That's absolutely correct. There's also the character of Val, who I think is just really vicious throughout the whole movie. But I think that her character has her own points as well, and that's another thing I like about this movie is that every character is human in this movie.
For sure.
Every single character.
Oh yeah, they're real.
They all have a point.
Yeah.
And like they might have certain traits, like Val, I would say, is like vicious and kind of mean, but everything she says, she's probably right. You know? And there's just so many things like that. And like even like Miles' wife, who's barely in the movie, like she is a full-fledged 5-dimensional character.
It's amazing how much character development they get into 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just shows that this is possible.
I also really love, like, there's just so many little characters. And I love the guy who's like, he's like the dude who moved from Silicon Valley, and he's like, "I've been in Oakland for a year. I got Oakland tattooed on." In my notes, I called him the Oakland obsessed fuckface.
Exactly. It's so funny too, because like is his name Miles, the white guy, or what was his name? You just said it
Miles.
5 seconds
Yeah, Miles
ago.
is the white guy. Yeah.
He's just like always talking about like how hipsters are destroying Oakland,
Yeah.
even though he looks exactly like every hipster.
Yeah, that's super funny. Yeah, there's just so many moments in this movie that it's gonna make you laugh, but it's gonna take you back. Like it's gonna really make you feel uncomfortable and stressed out, and that's the point. It's supposed to.
Yeah, it has I was reading an interview with David Davis, and he was like saying how this took him like 12 years to write.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Like David wrote this movie?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But yeah, this movie is just like it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like I was seriously, after I watched this movie, I was in shock. And I had to watch Cold War after this. I want to let you know. And maybe that's what made me not like Cold War that much, because compared to this, Cold War is fucking venom, dude.
Yeah. Both. It was written by David Diggs and Raphael Cazal.
Oh, that's actually really, really awesome. I don't know. This movie is just, it's as close to perfection in the cinema universe as we are going to get right now. If I could give it more than 5 stars, I would. Like I would.
With the coveted 7-star.
This is a coveted 7-star. This is.
It's the easiest 5-star I've seen this year for sure.
This is reserved for Jurassic Park, Return of the King, and Blindspotting.
And then I look over and I look at the Oscar noms, and I'm like, oh, this kicks the shit out of every single one of those.
It's
by a lot.
It's at least 5 times as good as the best nominated film.
Yeah.
Preposterous.
Because I think we said this when we were talking about Roma.
Yeah.
When you look at Roma, it's a great movie for sure.
Really good, yeah, really good.
But when you look back at like a Gravity, Alfonso's other movie, everybody when that came out, they're like, this is fucking the greatest movie of all time.
We all forgot about it.
Or if you look at Birdman, was that movie?
Birdman, or like what would The Artist?
Well, The Artist, I just don't even count as a film, to be honest.
One Best Picture, so don't worry about that.
And you look back on those movies, and you don't think about them anymore. The movies I think about, Florida Project, Blindspotting. These are the movies,
Disaster Artist.
Disaster Artist. These are the movies I'm going to be thinking about.
Yeah, Whiplash,
The Handmaiden. These
are
movies that I think about. These are movies that are actually saying something or doing something different. Sorry to bother you. These are the movies. Hereditary. These are the movies I'm going to be remembering this year. It's House that Jack built. Quiet Place. House that Jack built. Annihilation. These are the movies that I'm going to be remembering from this year, and I'm not going to think about anything on that Oscar nom list.
Do you know how many times in my life I intend to watch Green Book again? Fucking never.
I'm mad I had to watch it once.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching it once was uncomfortable enough.
Waste of my time.
Dude, I saw Florida Project 3 times the first week I saw it.
That's true. Yeah. You did do that.
Dude, I really love that. Like, the Florida Project might be one of the best movies I've ever seen. It
gets better.
Yeah, it
the more
does.
I think about it.
Yeah, the more you think about it, the more you watch it, it does get better. So Blindspotting, obviously, this is the 5-iest 5 that we could possibly give. If I could give it more, I would. 7 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
For Blindspotting. This movie, if there's any movie from this year that you have to see, it's this one. It's 90 fucking minutes. Take time out of your day, you fucking uncultured pieces of shit.
God, you're swine.
Stop
God,
watching.
all of our listeners are swine.
Stop watching Bohemian Rhapsody. You've seen it 3 times.
No more
It's the same bad movie every time.
No more Bandersnatch.
Yeah, no more.
You've seen Bandersnatch. There's no more endings.
Yeah, you got all the Bandersnatch endings.
Look, did you see the 3 Bandersnatch endings? That's all there is. Stop trying. You're getting the same endings, and you're trying to get more. There's not. Go watch Blindspotting. Turn off Bo Rap.
Dude, are people doing Bandersnatch more than once? That seems crazy.
Bandersnatch is still on film Twitter, and I'm like, boys, that came out 3 weeks ago. We're not talking about Bandersnatch anymore. The half a film.
Yeah, that's not a real movie. That's video game. That's a David Cage game.
No, it's not video game. Yeah, it's not a movie. It's a piece of shit is what it is.
It's something in between that doesn't have a genre of any type.
And I hope that people don't be like, oh, this is something that we need to try and ape now. You already got the best version of it. It's shitty.
They're getting sued by the Choose Your Own Adventure people. Did you know that?
That makes sense.
It's super funny, actually. Hey, podcast bot 8,000.
Where is that dumb fuck?
Help me, Buck.
No, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
I'm malfunctioning.
Good.
I need you to pull the plug. Pull the plug.
I'd love to.
Pull the plug. Before you pull the plug, though, allow me to intro.
What are we watching next week
on the podcast? Next week on the podcast, you are continuing the freeway to the Academy Awards with Oscar bait films such as Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I've heard that's good though.
And If Beale Street Could Talk.
I've heard that's very good.
Yeah, it's Barry J, dude. I love
we
Barry
love
J.
Barry J
We
on
love
this show.
Barry J.
Barry J would come on this show. That's how cool Barry Jenkins is.
The boys will also be talking about AVP, Alien vs. Predator. Yeah, it's bad. I haven't seen it since 07, but like I remember it being quite bad.
AVP Alien vs Predator, and then AVPR Alien vs Predator
Requiem.
Requiem. Say the full title, please. There's a
dash
dash in it.
Is there a dash?
Yeah,
Oh shit! You don't have a dash here on the fucking Google Drive that we have.
I'm sure I had it in there. You must
Yeah.
have took it out when
Oh,
you were
ma-
editing it.
Oh, you know what? I did edit it, so maybe I did do that. You may be right. What's the other movie we're watching? I hope you boys are into some beast work.
God, I'm not. I'm not into it.
The boys will be watching Glass.
Here's what I've heard from the reviews: that all that beast work you say in the trailer, that's all the beast work.
Oh,
and now I'm pissed.
No.
Because this movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say,
you're
isn't that
telling me
super
there's
long?
7 minutes of beast work. Oh, I'm fucking pissed now. Because you know what I said the entire time we watched those 8 trailers? Better be a lot of beast work in this shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
lose
do.
my fucking mind.
I do recall you saying that.
Guess what? It's Cuckoo's Nest, baby. No beast work.
Yeah, it's a trick. That's a trick. That's what that is.
God, Shyamalan, I fucking hate you.
So thank you, Podcast Bot 8000. Buck hurt me, dude. I don't know what's going on with him, dude.
Yeah,
He's not into drugs or anything. He's just really fucked up.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're in that Bryan Singer trip.
Yeah, that's true.
God, I'm glad that we got a 50-page expose on Bryan
Dude,
Singer and
can you
nothing happened.
Can you believe that? We've been screaming about this for 100 episodes. Finally, somebody did an expose like this, and of course, they fucking. I logged onto Twitter and it's like recommended for you, Bryan Singer at 50-page expose, and it's like that's correct. That is exactly the
I
content
read
I'm
it at
looking
work
for.
the other day because I was doing nothing, and boy, is it fucked up. Even more fucked up than I ever imagined.
Really? I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's a good read.
Is it really 50 pages? It looks long.
Yeah, it's about 50 pages.
It looks long.
Took me like half an hour to read it, probably.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, I'll read that on my break or something tomorrow then.
Yeah, and turns out nothing's gonna happen because he's still signed on for Red Sonja, and nothing's changing about that.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything about it. Look, here's the thing.
If only he had some tweets about pissing on a little boy instead of fucking a little boy. Hey?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing, though, is that this happened before. This happened when what was
It
that?
happens every time he releases an X-Men movie.
Yeah, what was that? That X-Men movie, the Apocalypse.
Apocalypse
Yeah.
happened during
Days of Future Past.
Rogue Cut. What was that one?
Rogue Cut.
The Rogue Cut. What was
Oh,
that movie?
Yeah,
that was
Days of Future Past. Yeah,
The Rogue Cut.
yeah, Days of Future Past. Yeah, because I remember specifically they almost pulled him off Days of Future Past, and then they're like, nah, people are gonna forget about that.
We don't care.
Just let this boy rapist direct all these.
God, he's a
people,
boy rapist.
including the young boys.
Well, that's the movie news. Is Bryan Singer's a boy rapist? We've been talking about that for 55 episodes. So go back.
Nobody will do anything about it. Dude, I'm real riled up about it.
Yeah,
but you can follow us on Twitter at Movie Epidemic. You can follow us on Instagram. We're having a lot of
Absolutely.
fun over there. If you follow us on Instagram, though, please refrain from doing the following. Do not just comment an emoji. And,
Don't do this.
and in hopes that we will click on your profile and follow you
Please
back.
do not do this.
Stop doing that.
Please
I hate that.
Here's the thing: we're taking our branding strategy, and we're fucking off to the races. You guys need to figure out your branding strategy, and it's not leaving comments on people's things unless it's constructive.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's the thing. You actually, if you type in a comment that actually pertains to my podcast, might hit you up with a follow.
Might be interested
Yeah,
in your shit.
Yeah, might be interested in your shit. But right
Might be
now,
interested in working with you. If you just keep typing the same goddamn shit on all of my shit.
So it's like the clapping emoji.
But there's also
off.
there's also like this one. I'm not gonna name them, but they keep we're like, we followed and we're excited to listen to all your podcasts, and I just keep calling them out every time they post. I'm like, yeah, you're lying.
Yeah, tell me something that happens 48 minutes into the pod. tell me what Podcast Bot 8000 does
Hashtag
on
oak
this.
trees.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can follow us on Facebook at Facebook-Movie Epidemic. I'm your host, Chadley, and that's Buckley Duke.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like the bad guys teaming up.